I have played tennis all my life, and more than once I have told someone that I play the sport, and the person I'm talking to, they always say the same thing. It is a pretty boring sport. I have never understood the rules, and I can watch more than 5 minutes of it on TV. But I know who is Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, Serena Williams, and Maria Sharapova. If I have luck, the person I'm talking to will be interested on the rules and will ask me if I could please let them know more about the sport. So I always start talking about the score and the most important tournaments around the world. And that's what I'm doing today, but with a little big difference that you didn't ask for this, so enjoy it. So first things first, the score. It is a very complicated system, and I have always said that the person who invited it is a complete genius. The thing with it is that even when you and everyone think you are more than lost in the match, it is always a way to do a comeback and win the match. To be honest, to understand this part, you will be needed to play a tennis match. Well, let's go to the numbers. You will catch the most. The score consists in points, games, and sets. To win a game, you need to score some points. To win a set, you need to win some games, and to win the match, you need to win some sets. The points are the famous 15, 30, 40, and advantage. If you win this first point, the score will be 50 love. Sorry, did you say love? Yes, I did say love, but why? Zero in tennis is not called zero, but we don't complain because it is a beautiful word. The origin of it comes from the French le œuf, which means egg, and because of the similarity of the zero and the shape of the egg is why they started calling it that way. Coming back to the score, remember, if you win the first point, the score will be 50 love. If you win the second, it will be 30 love, and the third, 40 love. And winning one more point will make you win the game, but it happens rarely. The most common is to end a game in a 40-30 or in advantage. The advantage comes from a tennis rule that consists in winning with a difference of 2 points. So, when both players are very competitive, they will reach a 40-40 score or deuce. Then, the next one on winning a point will get the advantage, and if the player defends the advantage, he will win the game. If the player who has the advantage doesn't win the game, the score will mark again a 40-40. Until a player defends the advantage, the game will be over, and it could repeat many times. Okay, now keep in mind this rule of winning with a difference of 2. It will be relevant on how to win a set. Okay, so now that we know how to win points and games, here we go to the sets. You win a set when you win 6 games, but with a difference of 2 games, so it could get 6-4 or with less games in the loser side. But what happens when the score is 5-5? Well, easy. The set will increase 2 games more, ending in a 7-5. But what happens if the players are giving all their passion and greatest shots in the court and the score marks a 6-6? Here, the set won't be anymore about games. It will be given to the one who wins a tiebreak. Sorry? Tiebreak? You didn't mention it before, you will say. A tiebreak is a grouping of points, now from 1 to 7. And again, I will repeat the rule of always winning with a difference of 2 points, so it will be okay if it ends in a 7-5. But if you tie in a 6-6, you will need to extend the tiebreak to 8, and that will keep happening whatever times if necessary. And now, how many sets I need to win to get the match? Well, commonly, the match will be to the best of 2 sets. I mean, if you win both sets, the match is yours. But if you tie 1 set to 1, you will need to play a third match and no more. But here comes the other part of the talk, the professional tournaments. Tennis has its important events, which are the Grand Slams. They are only for along the year. On January, the Australian Open. On May, we have Roland Garros. June, the iconic Wimbledon, and August, the US Open. They last 2 weeks, and everyone who loves tennis will be watching them no matter the time zones. The difference between the Grand Slams and the other tournaments is that the match is to the best of 3 sets. That means that if you win the first 3 sets, you will get the match, but if not, the match could last 4, or if the competition is hard, it will be till 5 sets, which is pretty common that happens in a Grand Slam. Another important tournament are the Masters 1000. They are 9 along the year. The most important is Indian Wells at California, United States. All the players are obligated to go or they get a sanction. The same happens on the Grand Slams. A player won't be affected if he is going through an injury, of course. Another type of tournaments are the ATP 500 for men and WTA Premier Tournament for women. In Mexico, to be more specific, in Acapulco, during the last week of February and the 1st of March, occurs the most important tournament of this type from all the world. Players enjoy a lot playing here. Another type of important tournament is the ATP 250 for men and WTA International Tournament for women. In Los Cabos, Baja California Sur, at the last week of July for the last 2 years have occurred a new tournament, but sadly it is not that big. So, only men play the tournament. Now I'm talking about everyone's favorite players. They deserve more than this talk each, but let's say the most relevant. We're living such a strange era. We have the luck of being watching the best players from all the times at the same moment. I'm talking about Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. What makes them special is the amount of titles they have won along their career. For example, Roger Federer has won 103 titles and 20 of them are Grand Slams. Rafael Nadal has 81 and 19 of them are Grand Slams. Novak Djokovic has 79 titles and 17 out of them are Grand Slams. They are totally out of the average of players of all the times. For example, Roger Federer nowadays is 38 and even the youngest players on the tour can defeat him easily. Rafa is a bull. He plays with the heart and the brain, giving in all in every match. And Novak is a perfect combination of discipline.